Welcome back, family. I'm back once again. Wanted to bring a shorter video, only about 5 minutes, but I wanted to touch on some key points that allow us to move beyond our procrastination and get into doing the things that we feel we need to do in order to feel like we're doing what it is that we're here to do and to have a more pleasurable life, a more abundant life when it comes to enjoying oneself and the beauty that surrounds us in the midst of whatever chaos that we're going through. So we got to remember that it's real out here, and a lot of things boil down to how we're treating our body that affects the mind. So let's get into a few things that I've come to understand in this society. Still with how we come into society and how society has become more, the civility in society almost is non-existent. And I think a big driver behind that is our insatiable appetite to compete. And I think this has contributed to the death of civility. And this is something that the society pushes. This is something that popular culture pushes, whether indirectly or directly. It tells us that it must be a competition. I disagree in a sense that it must be a competition when it comes to moving above and beyond where you're at. You may be competing, but don't go in it in the mindset that this is a competition against others, because this again takes away from the civility of the human being. We should strive to do what it is that we need to do in advance. And in a sense, you will be competing, but not for the sake of competing. I see this all the time when it comes to health and fitness and when it comes to the gym environment. Everybody's competing. Everybody's pushing. Again, this is not good for the mental and emotional in the long run. You have to have a balance when it comes to what it is that you're trying to accomplish. This drive, 24/7 type of mentality, or I have to be above this individual and that individual, leads to a lot of despair when you run into that individual that you're not going to be above, that you're not going to be able to defeat, because there's always someone out there that has something that you don't have, which is cool. That's the beauty of the human experience. And this type of mindset, going in with I'm competing all the time, has a host of psychological pitfalls and emotional pitfalls. Many of the psychological traits that those who come with this type of mindset develop enviousness against others, envy, because they're always competing. So they're looking at others, and if they're not at that point, then most individuals, when they see, or if they can't become that which they think they should be while they see the other person doing it, then this can develop within that person some envious tendencies. Also, this can lead to depression, anger, and then ultimately hatred of another individual for what it is that they're doing that you might not be able to accomplish. This is not a good thing. We got to break away from that type of approach to what it is that we're trying to achieve. Jealousy. This also is one of the byproducts of those who always are competing, always looking at others in order to validate themselves. This often leads to jealousy, which then in turn leads to low self-esteem when that individual, or if that individual doesn't measure up to the one that they're constantly comparing themselves against. The next one is greed. A lot of this competition is done out of greed. And again, greed is another one of those psychological, emotional traits that lead or allow people to exploit others in order to bring about what it is that they want out of greed. So we have to be aware of that as well. Anger, of course, when you're not achieving the things that you want to achieve. Many of those who are hyper competitive listen to the word hyper competitive. When they can't or they don't overcome, it leads to anger. And this is a destructive emotional trait. And it leads to a host of different things, hate, etc. Things that bring the individual down and causes more psychological stress and emotional stress and physical stress within the body. So we have to use exercise as a tool for human growth, not human competition in the broader picture. We should be, and it should be our primary focus, to use this tool to benefit us at the highest level, absent our insatiable appetite to compete against others. Again, this is a driving or driven mentality that can't sustain itself. Anytime you're pushing, and always focusing on others, you neglect yourself emotionally and mentally, and it's going to come back to bite you. So with that being the case, I'm out. Have a great day. Thank you for dropping in. Peace.